Hi guys, I wanted to talk a little bit more today about what is possibly an impending economic collapse in our country, which hopefully you're aware of, but I wanted to address what I feel are a couple misconceptions about what could possibly happen or what are some good ideas. Obviously, I don't know for sure that I'm wrong, just as I don't know for sure that they are, but I'm going to explain to you why I feel that they're wrong in a few of these things, and hopefully you'll understand my line of reasoning here. One of the things that I've heard people say is that if there is some sort of eventual currency switch, that you should keep coins because when they make the new currency, they'll still use the old coins. And I just think this is ridiculous. I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that this would even remotely be the case. I think they've said that in the past, maybe some country has done this and kept the coins, but there's no way that we would be doing this. The much more likely that we would switch to whatever currency, if we made the Amero or something, they would make an Amero coin. They wouldn't keep using our coins. I mean, even though there'd be a cost associated with that, our government has shown that they are not at all reluctant to spend money on things like that. And especially if there's a currency switch, they're not going to be using the old money. I just am absolutely convinced of that. I don't think it's wise to continue assuming that they would and to base some of your preparations on that. I just don't think that's a good idea. You can just as easily put the same amount of money into gold or silver or something that you know is going to maintain its value than into coins that don't have any intrinsic value. Now, on the flip side of that, some of these coins, such as older pennies, older nickels, and even older quarters and dimes, do have intrinsic value because of the metals that's in them. And you can keep them for this reason, but I wouldn't keep them because, Sacagawea dollars or regular quarters and new quarters and dimes, thinking that they're going to still accept these, because I am absolutely convinced this is not the case, and I don't know of any actual evidence to suggest that this would be the case. But in terms of the intrinsic metal value, yeah, go ahead. It may be hard to melt them down but if there was a currency switch, I doubt that it would still be illegal to melt down old, devalued currency for the metal content. So in that situation, it may be useful to have old pennies for copper and old nickels for the metal content in them too. But that leads me to my next point, is that a lot of people say you shouldn't buy silver in large chunks like this or in rounds, because people aren't going to want to accept it, and they're only going to be accepting the pre-1964 silver dimes because they know that it has a certain amount of silver in it. And my response is, do they know? Do they really? Because, well, this is common knowledge amongst the survival community. Really, not that many people know that. And if you walk up to someone and say, hey, I've got some dimes, which at this point may be a completely worthless currency, but you're like, yeah, but they're made of silver. You have to be ready for the fact that they may not believe you. Just because it's true doesn't mean that they're going to believe you. So, go out and start polling people. Ask intelligent people. Ask people that you work with. Not that many people know that the old coins have that silver content in them. And especially if the country just went through a currency crisis where the currency was completely devalued, a lot of people aren't going to want to have anything to do with, the former currency. Even if you can sort of convince them that it has silver in it, they may be afraid that no one else is going to take it just because it is that old currency that is now completely worthless and, vilified. So while they are great for having small divisible amounts of silver, and you can diversify. Always diversification is best, but don't think that you should put all your silver or gold money into just these pre-1965 coins, because I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's going to be this instant currency. That's another thing that there just simply aren't enough of them to start making some currency out of these. And that brings me to my last point, currency. A lot of people think that ammunition will become this newfound currency. And I disagree. Again, you have to go back to what the currency actually is. Currency is just a medium of exchange so that you can get things of value. The currency may or may not have intrinsic value on its own. Gold and silver has intrinsic value. So you may want the currency for the sake of its intrinsic value, or you may just be using it to trade to somebody else who knows that it also has value. Now, ammunition won't fulfill a lot of these characteristics of currency. You know, it's not necessarily something that has intrinsic value to a lot of people. Obviously, if you have the right type of weapon, it has value. But you have to be ready to accept that someone else is going to want to use this to trade for you. Like if you buy a bag of potatoes for some bullets, the person who has the potatoes has to assume that they either need this bullet itself, which in that case you're not using it as a currency, you're just using it as a trade. You're just trading directly bullets for the potatoes. But if the person doesn't need this bullet, then they have to take it on faith that someone else is going to need this, which it might not. The bullets aren't the best thing for that. I think much more likely what you would see would just be more of a direct barter situation, which people would use bullets a lot, but they're also, if you got into a situation where they wouldn't be able to continue manufacturing bullets, then obviously you're not going to have them used as a currency because they'd slowly be used up. They corrode and wear down over time. They may become breached. The cartridge may be breached, or maybe moisture gets in it and it won't work, and you don't know that when you're trading for these things. So that, it's not going to, for a lot of reasons, I don't think that ammunition will become some sort of currency. I think it'll be used in trades, but so will anything else. I think gold and silver will probably be the closest thing that you could have to a currency until some sort of actual, paper or coin currency was actually created. But so those are just a few things that I've heard around on the internet and what I feel are misconceptions. So go ahead and comment on it and let me know if you agree, disagree, and I'll talk to you guys later.